Okay, hi Marina.
Hi, Lizzie.
So yeah, I'd just like to ask you about Fast EFT because you are a practitioner,
Yes.
and how long have you been doing Fast EFT now?
I've been doing it now, I want to say, over 3 years, maybe almost 3.5 years. Um,
Okay,
mhm.
great. So can you sort of tell me how you got into it?
I
How did
was
you find
sent
it?
I was sent a video of Fast EFT by a friend, a new friend that I found online, and we were just sharing a lot of methods. And suddenly he wrote, "This is the real deal," and I watched it, and I was hooked immediately. It was a tap along, and I did it, and it took like 10 minutes. And at the time, I was going through anxiety and depression, and just sitting in my living room, kind of this winter blues kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just laughing after 10 minutes. I was like, where is it? Where is it? The feeling's gone. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So I was hooked. I was hooked. I'd already been looking for different modalities. I knew about EFT a little bit, but I found it very tedious and verbose, and I didn't really relate to that. Also, because I'm bilingual and I'm very much an emotional kinesthetic person, so
Okay.
I didn't relate to so much words and scripts. It seemed like it's
Mm.
not really associating so much to the issue, whereas Fast EFT right away was simple, went straight deep into my internal world, which I was already pretty familiar with, and I just saw, felt a huge shift. I was amazed. So after
And so
that,
then, yeah, go on.
after that, I found out that Robert was doing a training in England. I was living in Switzerland at the time, and I hopped on a plane a couple months later after
Yeah.
closet tapping for a while because I didn't want anyone to know what I was doing because it was still so different. And then when I went for the training, I realized, wow, this is a huge piece of what I want to do.
So when was this?
This was in April of 2010, I want to say, when I went took the training.
Okay, yeah.
And then
And how
after
did you find that? How did you find the
the
training?
training was great. It was huge aha moments for me. That was the first time I really became aware of how, when I thought of the past and I had a memory of anything, that in this moment it's really me doing it to me. I mean, that just sounds like words, but I just really got that the moment I think of anyone, it's
Mm.
actually me thinking of, me here in the moment now, and that person's not even here. So how, if I can upset myself with someone or I can be happy about someone, it's just me doing it to me here. And that was a huge revelation. I never heard that before. It was so simple and life
Yeah.
changing. So that was the biggest aha. Then, um,
And so you were at quite an early seminar then as well. I mean,
yeah,
it's
that
the early
seminar was
days.
only a 2 day level one seminar. Now they're 5 days long.
Wow.
And
So you must have
I
packed a lot in for those 2 days.
Yes, yes. And it was really good still. I mean, I've been afterwards too. I went to several level ones as it grew into what it is now.
Yeah.
And still, that first one was still the big aha. And then the rest kind of filled in the pieces. So I definitely recommend if someone has a chance to go more than once,
Yeah.
because you'll hear what you're ready to hear in each
Yeah.
seminar. So that was the case for me for sure.
Great.
Um,
So then what happened?
well, I met Robert Smith at that seminar, and it changed my life in more ways than one. So I we partnered up, we became involved, and it became both a work and a love relationship, and we traveled the world together.
Wow.
Pretty quickly after that,
Mm.
I was with him through Europe and through Australia for about a 14-month period of time.
So it's pretty intense.
Very
She
intense.
just found this new technique.
hmm Very intense, and we had a very strong connection right away. And then also with the technique or with the seminars, I just wanted to dive in, jump in, and help as best as I could. So, and also help him with organization and
Yeah.
helping others who are helping him organize, and really being kind of a liaison there, and making lots of friends really just deep bonds with people, and then also writing, organizing the the manual as it is today, and I think it's changed a
Yeah, because
bit
you
since
played
then.
quite a big part in that. So you sort of wrote the manual, and didn't you do the website as well?
Yep, I did the website. Again, it's always changing and growing, but the foundation, the way it looks today, I did redo it because he just didn't have. Of course, Robert's skills are his amazing genius is just not in that area. He can't, be the web person as well. But he was doing everything himself back then, and he needed help. And
Yeah.
that was a skill I had. I used to be a web developer, so I just took it on,
Mm.
and that was great and fun, and put the community forum on there, which is still used very heavily on the
Mm.
website. And started the subtitle YouTube project. That's something that I was passionate about because I wanted to take it to Hungary, and Hungary is still the #1 translated, of all the
Is it?
videos.
Oh.
And so it's just a great opportunity to be involved. I just believed in it so much, and I wanted to help so much any way I could. And at the
Mm.
same time, I was really wanting to build my own practice and work with people. So I kind of try to keep that separate. I created my own website and wanted to kind of stand on my own feet as well.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm very proud of being a part of that, which really helped it grow to what it is today. Some of that foundational organization, and even adding to it, like it wasn't my processes, but for example, when something had to be renamed, or helping with like pick, poke, provoke. That's something that came out in one of the seminars where Robert's like, we need a name for this process where we're really on purpose triggering our clients to
Yeah.
see. And it just kind of slipped out of my mind, and that's what's my mouth, and that's what stuck. So
Yeah,
it's kind
brilliant.
of fun, and I even forget
What
sometimes.
about this one? Just notice your fingers touching your skin.
Yeah, so that's another one that I remember bringing it to Robert's attention. I said, in EFT, they're holding on to.
Mm.
In regular EFT, you're like, keep it in mind while you tap. And in Fast EFT, there's a big difference. I remember having this dialogue with Robert about it. I'm like, I thought we need to really highlight this. So I'm not sure if it's something I came up with. I think it was that, he actually meant to have that in the training,
Mm-hmm.
because he always said that, just tap.
Mm.
But then I think what my contribution there was just to really bring it more to attention and actually put it in training and say it, because I don't think people were understanding that clearly. But I don't think I can take credit for that was mine or anything like that. It's just to
Okay.
highlight it more, because it's
Mm.
important. I think it's more important than it was realized before. So
Cool.
yeah,
And so, go.
there's a lot of people who helped contribute and form to what it is today. Linda Esser was one of the first, and um, Grace Jones, Denali Dragonfly. They were kind of
Mm.
very initially really trying to help and organize. So I think all along the way, Robert has a lot of helpers
Mm.
that I just want to continually acknowledge, along with myself, but also just I know how it goes. I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes too that are helping it, shaping it, growing it. They're teaching Robert different
Mm.
pieces, or adding to the scientific background or different application. And by asking the questions, by contributing in class, by hosting him, it's all shaping it to be
Mm.
what it, and it's continually growing. So but it is
Amazing.
cool. It is cool to say, you know what, I was a part of that, and there's pieces that are still the way they were, and I'm really proud of that, and I'm very happy I got to be a part of it.
Well done.
Thank you.
And then, what is your experience of Fast EFT for you, and maybe for what you've experienced with your clients or other people that you know?
For me, the primary change and shift for me since I've used it is relationships in my family has changed drastically. So that was my biggest issue, is I didn't have a very good relationship with my mother for a long time.
Mm.
Loved her so much, but just didn't know how to let go of the charge and the resistance and a lot of headbutting and tensions. And that's
Yeah.
just not, it's just not there anymore. It's just, I've worked on a lot of, my stories and memories around that in my life, and I love hanging out with her. I love being with her, even if we're not on the same page about things. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
It's just, uh, it's so good, so good. So that's been one big change for me. So it's not been physical. A lot of people heal themselves from physical ailments.
Do you have a pain though?
Did I have a pain?
I seem to remember you doing a video once where you were working on a pain.
Yeah, I did. I did work on different pains in my body. Headaches. I've let go of headaches a lot with it.
Oh, okay.
That's been the easiest.
Mm.
But I've never had really. I've been always a very healthy person. Not too
Yeah.
much chronic pain. Occasional pains come up. What I do notice is, like I'll have something that'll keep repeating, and if I tap on it, I'll just get new insight about why am I carrying. It's almost like I have a place where I carry my pain in my back, and if I
Yeah.
don't address something, it'll just accumulate there. And if I tap on it, I get a new insight, and then it clears out, and I'm good again. But then I can it might come back again. But
Right.
as I work on it, but it's nothing chronic or structural or where I need surgery or anything like that.
Mm.
So for me, it's been mostly emotional peace, um, chipping away at depression. Depression was my biggest, and I still get winter blues, but this year's been the best year I've had. I'm really
Wow.
working on it.
Yeah.
And then anxiety, just in general, being a more calm and peaceful person, where I've always been told that I look that way or I give that effect to people, but now I feel like that inside-outside match is better. So it's just been great.
So you feel like you've had big changes since you started Fast EFT to
So
uh,
much more awareness. Really, the biggest gift to me is awareness about how my thoughts are what create my reality. My thoughts are what create whether I'm feeling good or bad. Thoughts married with emotion and pictures, and just being aware of that structure of the problem versus the story and why and the reasons, and which I used to go to therapy and they would just analyze all the reasons, and I don't know if it really released it so much or changed it. So just, yeah, that foundational awareness of,
and then what about your experience of other people?
so with other people,
How's that been going with Fast EFT?
it's been going really great. It's such a gift to me. The way I describe it, why I love what I do, is it's such a gift for me to see people free themselves. They'll come in with a problem, so convinced it'll never change, and we tap on it, work on it, look at it, it naturally changes, right? And they're surprised, I'm surprised. It's just amazing in the level of peace they walk away with, and they're fine. And it's like, and I'm not doing much, I'm facilitating it, but it's like I'm helping them go there and really release something. And I've worked with some really hard cases too. It really doesn't matter whether it's the tiniest little, you know, road rage kind of problem versus heavy abuse by a parent when you're a child. I've worked with some really intense cases too. The rehab center that I volunteered, and that was my favorite work, my favorite time.
You flicked then. You said rehab centre.
Yeah, at a rehab center.
Yeah.
Where I'm working with people who've had just really, really tough lives, really tough cases, heavy drug abuse, use, and lots of trauma in their life. And of course, they reached and did what they could to cope and to survive. But then it's amazing how one session of tapping would transform their perception very rapidly, very large leaps, especially for those who've never been exposed. It's like me, and the very first time I went to a training, it happens
Yeah.
in a session of this huge aha realization of, wow, my father in my head is not my father, it's me, and you can't unlearn that. And it's amazing once you see it. I think that's it. You know it. You might forget it sometimes when you're still projecting on other people, but it just it's so, that's another favorite part is I do sometimes give talks about the Fast EFT and just simple talks about simple concepts. And then I would tap on the clients there at this rehab center, and seeing the light bulbs and the aha moments, it's just priceless. It's such a gift, and it's amazing. That's what I love the most. Actually, that's probably my second favorite. Well, first favorite is I love to actually talk about it and share.
Yeah.
And then working one-on-one in person, which I don't have as many. I have most of my clients on Skype at the moment. It works also very well, and I love it, but I'd love to get some more local people as well.
And where do you live?
I live in Denver, Colorado, USA, South Denver, and so yeah, I would love to see anyone. I don't have an actual physical office, but I do sometimes see clients in my home, or I go to them. I don't mind going to an office too, or someone's home.
Okay.
For now, it'll be like that.
So, thank you for sharing your experience of Fast EFT with me.
Thank you, Lizzie, for asking. I find it easier sometimes to dialogue about it with questions, so I appreciate you asking.